In today's episode of Veteran Idiot, Earl gets heavier and trades gas miles for smiles. Oh. Alright, on today's to-do list, I'm gonna go swap this guy out for one that'll fit in the Earl. Oh no, I dropped it. Sucker is heavy. Cranky. The other thing to do on the it smells like gear oil in here. The other thing to do on the to-do list is we gotta measure out the drive shaft for this guy and go pick up a new one. So let's go ahead, knock that out. So maybe we can move them around. That'd be nice. Welcome back to Veteran Idiot. I'm Art. We've got a drive shaft for a swap here. We got a lot of stuff to do today. Not a whole lot of time to do it. Listen, we're gonna lose the shop if we don't do all this today. Not really, but I do have an appointment tomorrow morning to drop this off to get the exhaust put on. The only way I can do that is if this goes in and we button up everything else in here. Transmission lines, fuel lines, cross member, radiator, which hasn't shown up yet, but should be here this afternoon, I hope. So I guess we really shouldn't waste any more time on this introduction and just get to it. Yikes. All right. Well, so I spent a little extra on this drive shaft. I wanted it to be able to handle whatever this 460 is going to throw at and whatever we decide in the future. You always plan ahead, you know. So I didn't really need to spend as much as I did or go the direction I did with this drive shaft, but I didn't want to pay for it twice. So it is pretty, it's really pretty, but from Arizona Drive Shaft, as you can see there. They really hooked me up on this one, did it in a short period of time. I was going to try and save the two-piece drive shaft, but that just wasn't going to work out for us. So got a one piece that is strong enough for a 400-ish horsepower, which I think is going to be plenty for the time being, and I think probably for this truck. I don't think I'm going to go any more than that. But it's really pretty, and I don't know how long I will keep it that way. I think it's probably going to get painted black pretty quickly, like before it goes in, or immediately after it goes in. But it'll probably be black, just depending on how much I can see from underneath is what the determining factor will be. Radiator is also aluminum like this, but I don't want to be able to see it through here, so that one will probably get painted black too. I don't know, listen, I just don't like shiny things. So, I guess let's throw it in and see if it works. Well, that was fun. So what happened here is carrier bearing mounts in the way of the drive shaft. So finished bolting this thing up, bolted up down there, put the bolts in for the cross member. We're done down here. All right. I got drive shaft is in, cross member is in, everything's bolted up, tightened down. And next thing I got to do is I got to run those transmission lines up through there. I'm going to use rubber for most of the way, but got to tighten down the motor mounts, and then we'll go back upstairs. Got a tachometer to put in, and then we'll pretty much wait for the radiator to show up So everything else is tackled. We knocked it all out. Ooh, we could put the floor down, the vinyl. Could do that. It's kind of nice under here though. All right, so this thing is securely mounted in there now. Everything's tight. It's where it's gonna live for a long, long time. Hopefully. Should live for a long time. So now what we gotta do is we gotta get this plastic oil pressure line out of here, this temporary one, and throw in a copper one, because we all know what happens when these plastic ones break. Fire, oil stains, fill the cab, all those things we don't want. So I need to replace that and run the new line for that, and then we're gonna run the tachometer. I gotta finish plumbing these transmission lines, but I don't have the radiator yet, so it's kind of hard to get where they need to be. But in any sense, we can start wiring that stuff and finish up the oil pressure and tachometer, and then get us a power wire accessory or ignition power wire over to the choke. And then we just wait, I guess, and see if things show up. Body grounds. Need to do a body ground somewhere in this thing. Oh, by the way, I also found out what these dipsticks came from, and wouldn't you know it, they were low car as well. It's probably why it was $150 and $130. So anyways, I don't know where the HE double hockey sticks FedEx is at, but I need them to hurry up, quickly running out of things to do, which I mean is a good thing. Oh, maybe that notification is them. It's not. Lame. Threw this plastic one on here to get us by while we were testing to see if we had any, get in there, oil pressure when I first fired it up. It's the things you kind of want to know on your first start. Now we got to swap it out for that copper one because I didn't have one on hand to throw in here. All right, to the inside. Don't fling oil on me, bro. Throw hands. Going inside. So for these copper lines, I like to start inside the truck. That way I can just straighten out a portion of it, and I keep all the coiled section nice and neat up under the dash, rather than having a bunch of coiled stuff out here. So I get a straight section, stick it through, get it to where I need it over here, and I leave the rest of the coiled section up under the dash. Wow, oh, oh, oh. Golden sunshine. Yeet. Ooh, phone. Oh, 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 oh. Golden sunshine. Under the dash. Under the dash. Where we always end up, unfortunately. Shoop, shoop, a doop. Wow, I kind of wish I hadn't put this core support on. I can't fit in here. Might as well climb in. Oh. Better have my wrench, then I need the right size. That's not it. Ow! Ow, it's got me. Right. I'm safe. It's tight in here. It's not really tight, there's just nowhere to stand. Oh, I don't know that this was any better. No! All right, get back out. Huh. If there's anything that makes you feel old, it's trying to climb out of an engine bay. Legs don't turn that way. Okie dokie. Oh man, it gets me every time. Not your friend. Okay, don't fall through. Don't do it. Oh, where did that go? Oh, nice. Oh, while we're up here, fun fact of the day, every sink's a urinal if you're tall enough. Just think about it. Oh, come on, hat. Oh, why is it at such an angle that I really can't see anything at all? My head doesn't turn that way. Should thread on. Did I not bring that wrench up here? It was right here. I know you guys saw where I went. I know you did. What'd you do with it? Come on, bro. Where'd it go? That ain't cool. Really? I gotta climb out of this thing again? Oh, I'm trying to hide next to the carburetor. It blends in. I'm not even mad. Every notification I hear, hoping it's the radiator showing up, has not been the case recently. All right, cool. Throw a little piece of rubber around that guy. Once we get all of our wiring figured out, all right, that's on. Inside, let's button it up. Oh. Okay, so that's done. I am going to now figure out a power wire for the choke itself and get rid of that resistor wire inside, lay the carpet down. Oh yeah, we gotta hang this tack too. All right, got lots of things to do, not just one or two. Get rid of this clip. Dokey dokey doke. Wish this was a little firmer, but it's the floor that it's bolted to. This pan, it still gets after it. See if we can tighten that down a little bit. All right, I'm going under. Don't wait for me. Oh, it hit me in the face. Notification I've been waiting for. Radiator's here. I'm gonna finish tightening this, go get the radiator, because this truck is gonna be done tomorrow. It'll run tonight, done tomorrow. Exhaust on tomorrow, done. Ow! Okay. Yeah. Throw this rug back over. Need to make a mark where the hole's gonna be. Let's see if we can get this dirty, nasty old thing over the top. All right. Just need to trim this edge here. This thing will be perfect. Okay, let's get this tack all wired up so we can throw in that radiator. This holder for the phone really ain't doing jack. I'm gonna figure out something else for this guy. It was just held in with a nut screwed over the top of the lead, and it just not doing anything. So that sucker I'm gonna take back out in a minute after I wire this stuff. Just got a cheap Pro Tack from Equus or Equis. Is it French? I don't know. But cheap tack, it's gonna go right there, almost butted up against speedometer, just like that. I go with the cheap ones because they look a little bit older. They're not as fancy lettering and stuff like that. That doesn't really match any of this other. And these the 2 tractor gauges and the speedometer, they're all a specific font, and it's the same font. And this tack is very similar to that. So that's the reason for the cheap one. This one down on the bottom is guaranteed to lacerate my leg. There's no doubt about it. Might replace that one too. Just want you to feed through there. They ain't asking a whole lot, my guy. No, you're not gonna do it. Not happening. And fast forward to when this is wired up. Okay, and just like that, we're wired inside. It's all good. Was no trouble at all. Okay, so they got the green wire through the firewall over here. I'm gonna run it through the loom and up to the HEI. Do yourself a favor, gentlemen, get the plug for it. Makes everything so much easier. You don't have just that exposed press-on plug that slides on and off. This one's actual clip that you use with the HEI. Fits right in there. So just wire it right in, good to go. And we're off. It's the worst part about doing it this way. Pushing it into the loom all the way around. All right, splicey, splicey. Splice that sucker right in there, burn it up, clip it in, and that's it. That's all she wrote, good to go. Now it's time to finally go get that radiator so we can plumb up these transmission lines and the coolant, fire it up, run it through all the gears, make sure we are good to go, because tomorrow morning, we're dropping this thing off. I'll probably have to push it. That's probably what's gonna happen. Ooh, I've been waiting on this one. Wish I could have found a cheaper option, but this'll do. Cold case isn't a bad price. They're actually really good price compared to most. There was $800, $1,000, $1,200, $1,300 radiators out there. And that's too rich for my blood. Remember, we were trying to do this on the cheap. Come on out of there, God blame it. Oh yeah, she is real shiny and real nice. Stress relief cuts. Radiator is designed with precision and stress relief cuts to allow for the... So there she is. She is real pretty. Oh man, it is a lot shiny for this engine bay. I didn't want a whole bunch of shiny in there. We'll try it out for a little bit. Maybe spray paint it later. Okie dokie. I got the flanges on here seemingly backwards, but we'll figure that one out, I guess. Okay, in you go. Oops. Oops. That's nice. Still don't understand why they put the flanges on backwards, but you know, it is what it is. I think that'll do. That'll do nicely. You know, to be honest, I thought this was just gonna drop in because it's for a 65 to 67, yeah, 65, 67 F-250, which is 66. They got these weird flanges on the outside, and the other flanges face the opposite direction. So they're way away from the actual mount, almost like it was supposed to slide in here, but there's no way it could because this here hood latch would funk it up. But it is going to work. I'm going to make it work. I just need bolts. Sad day. Does it work if I just drilled out that hole? Matter of fact, why don't we just do that? Let me make sure I got nuts to fit this guy. They do. All right, I'm just gonna okay, now we're on the right path. Sweet, 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 sweet. I like it. The polish is growing on me. Take it easy. It's growing on me. I am going to loosen these top bolts, slit a hose and slide it over this, just so it's not sitting there rubbing on the tank. It seems like the responsible thing to do, so that's what I'm gonna do. Ugh, give me chills. Responsibility. Yuck. Hoses engaged. Taking a long time to unscrew this. It's taking forever. I'm sure you guys didn't know when you first signed on for this channel that it was mostly karaoke. Which I mean obviously is the best part, but duty. What's up, big guy? Let's fill it up. Reuse all this goodness. It's still good. See if I can't spill it everywhere. What's up, Steve? See if I got any more around here somewhere. Next up, transmission lines. This should be interesting. So one of these lines is long enough I can get it over here. The other is cut all the way back at the transmission. So it is not going to get over here. Oh, where's that leaking from? Don't tell me it's a water pump. I'm gonna be extra sad if that's a water pump that's leaking. Well, friends, appears the water pump is bad. And it's leaking. Sad day. Ain't a whole lot I can do about it right now. So let's finish up these hoses. All right, need to go get some fittings, some hose. I'm gonna run to the store. I am going to get some line for the return line on the fuel pump. I am going to get some line for the transmission up to the radiator, some fittings for the radiator, some more coolant, and I don't want to get a water pump, but I'm going to see how much they are. I think that's all we need. And break. Okay, it's morning time. After I got back from the store, it was dark. I just started knocking out some stuff. Ended up getting the return line run. And basically, it's hard to see. Maybe I'll get a flashlight in a little bit. There we go. So, you can see the return fitting there. Just feeds right back inside. Tack is wired up. Got everything buttoned up underneath. started filling her up. And so I just looped the transmission line back there. I need to get a 90-degree fitting because it's too close here. It'll hit down there. So that's where we're at. Got an appointment this morning in about an hour, so I need to knock a bunch of stuff out. I'm gonna throw just a little bit of an exhaust on there, just so it's not blasting straight out of the headers, and then set the idle air fuel and mess with the timing a little bit, let it run, make sure we're all good to go, and then get on the road. All right, we're ready to go. Ooh, gotta put the gas cap on. I'm gonna check the wheel real quick and then we'll get out on the road. Hopefully we get there. Running a little behind, but it was already hot just sitting there and idling. There's some sort of vacuum leak or something. I can't get the idle down. We'll get her figured out. Hopefully we get there. I got here, dropped it off at Apache Muffler. I don't know over there. I can't tell if there's a knock or not. It was really, really hard to hear over the exhaust. I pulled over a couple times, couldn't hear anything on the top end. Maybe something converter, I don't know, or it was just a clapping to the exhaust. Either way, we'll see what it sounds like after we get the exhaust on. Didn't overheat, stayed right at 190 the whole freaking time. I gotta do something with that carburetor. The carburetor is just, it's probably not gonna work. It's surging and it doesn't want to idle down. It acts like it's just got a huge vacuum leak. You gotta keep it idled up. We'll see if I can work through it and see what we get, but that intake manifold and that carburetor is probably gonna have to go away. We'll see how it does with the exhaust on there. But we'll give them a couple hours, eat some tacos, and then get back on the road as soon as they're done.
2 hours later.
All right, they got it all done. Let's see what we got. Oh. Yes. That'll do. That'll do. We made it back. Let me tell you, this thing sounds amazing. Can barely hear it on the highway. Barely. Not even a drone, nothing. When it's sitting there idling, it's just this loping greatness. I love these mufflers. They give the illusion of long tube headers, and then when you add long tube headers, they sound even better. So I'll give you a startup video here in a second and run you through the entire exhaust system. But a couple of things. The throttle's sticking, which sucks. It's probably this loop right here. That throttle spring, I tried to pull it tighter back here, that's why it looks all funky. But throttle sticks, it needs more timing. It is not happy with the timing that it has. It's missing, sputtering, surging, so there's some fuel issues too. I need to go through carburetor, adjust the air fuel, see if we can pull the plugs out. But right now it is way too hot in this engine bay to be messing with that stuff. So we'll let her cool down for a second, come back out, and pull the plugs, see what we got, mess with the carb, so on and so forth. But wow. One thing to note, I don't know if this C6 was geared differently for the RV. I'm going to have to look that up, but it is screaming at about 60 mile an hour. So the tach isn't working. I got to check that out. Maybe I don't have a good connection at the HEI, but so we got a couple things to work through. Other than that, oh man. Shop's a little messy. Don't look over there. Look over here. It's a beaut. It's a beaut car. Ooh, gotta put the bumper back on. Okay, so it's cooled off some. Let's take a look underneath. See what we just purchased. Whoop. All right. So I wanted a crossover, so they threw in a crossover there. It's pretty long, but it's all right. It'll do. Basically a straight pipe up on both sides. Got a little leak from the transmission line that I looped. It's all right, we're gonna put that in the cooler. And then back to some Super 40s and some dumps. And it sounds ridiculous. It's real nice. I like it a lot. All right, let's get that cold startup. Hot startup. Pull some of these spark plugs, see what we got. Start over here. Oh my God, it's hot, it's hot. Whew. Feels like this thing is starving for fuel. So they're good, they look good. This one looks fantastic. So maybe we're not looking at a jetting issue, we're more of a an idle issue. Also fantastic. Well, looks good. All right, we just got an idle and idle air fuel issue. Okay. Alrighty then. It was kind of hard to mess with timing earlier. It wasn't running very well for one. For another, I was in a rush to get on the road. Oh, by the way, stopped on the way home, picked up a nice little surprise present for Earl for its dome. We'll throw that on later. Let's mess around with all this other stuff first. That's it, 20. It likes 20 degrees a whole lot better than the 10 or 12 that it had before. But I think the biggest problem is there's no vacuum where I got the advanced, or the vacuum advanced hooked up. As soon as you come down on that idle at all, you got an issue. It wants to stall and die. So we're pouring out the bowl just a little bit over here, so we can take that down just a tiny smidge. Status update. Took the carburetor out, went through the whole thing again. There was a vacuum bung that was kind of like in and out, and it fell out and wouldn't go back in, so I messed with that. Got the right screw for the idle air so I can adjust those now. Slapped it all back together. Moved the temperature sensor over to the other side. It wasn't seating very well and dripping, and I think that's what was the issue, not the water pump. It was dripping down the other side. So filled it back up. Let's fire it up, see what we get. All right, we'll go with a half a turn and see where that gets us. And I'll adjust this side just to get a roundabout idea what I can put the other side at, because the other side is impossible to get at. Really annoying. All right, give her a go. Man, those idle screws were way off. So the backs were completely in, even though I backed them out a full turn. There was no fuel getting them. Once I opened up those back needles, man, this thing is great now. Just great. The fluid's a little concerning. That's brand new. It's all the crap that was sitting down in the engine. Oh man, she's humming now. About 15 degrees. Vacuum's good. Sweet. Ooh, that looks terrible. Might go ahead and flush this thing here in a little bit, but all right, everything is good. Air fuel's good, idle's good. Everything is good except for the transmission cooler. I still got to get that 90 in there. But now that it's not pushing on the converter so hard at a light, I can wait just a little bit. But everything is great. Good to go. So happy with how this turned out. It sounds so good. And now for the final piece to go on top. Yeah. All right. What the? Aw. Just 1 second. There we go. That'll do. It's good. It's good. I actually kind of like it sideways. It's different, except for the names over here, but you know what? It's all good. Earl runs perfect. I could not be happier with this entire swap. It's got a little bit of a lag. I presume that's got a lot to do with the restriction on the intake manifold and that carburetor, but it runs so smooth, sounds so good. It is perfect. And on that note, it's time to button up the last little things, throw the bumper on and some other here's and there's, put away all these tools, go have some fun. All right, so now it's time for the moment that everybody's actually been waiting for. Let's see if the 0 to 60 in this thing improved, which I think it did. We'll see. Not too bad. So it looks like our time is 11.9 seconds. We're getting choked up in the intake manifold for sure, and the carburetor, and the exhaust manifolds. But that was a full 27 seconds faster than with the 300, or sorry, 240. So that's a win. That's a used a lot of gas from here to there win. I'll take it. Well, it's bright out here. There was some cloud cover earlier, but it seems to have gone. God, it's hot. Hey, this has been a great journey. This engine, left for dead in a motorhome, used for crack or whatever they were doing in there. But now it's got new life in Earl, and Earl is pretty close to being done. Maybe just a little bit lower, you know, just a couple inches, but you know, maybe we'll just leave it like this. Thank you, cloud cover, thank you. But it's been awesome. The exhaust turned out perfect. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot to be you know, hope for with the power side of it, but it's being choked down with that factory smog intake manifold, that smog carburetor, and then the exhaust manifolds themselves. But just happy to have what I wanted. I'm just happy to have it done, running, ready to roll. Thanks again for sticking with me, watching the episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Blow up that comment section. Hit me with any type of question you have, suggestions, anything. It really helps out to push the video. The more comments that are in there cycling, the more that YouTube picks it up and pushes it out. So appreciate all feedback, any questions, anything. Throw it in there. I'll have a whole conversation with you if you want. But thanks for joining me. And as always, have fun.
Thank you.